morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Edwin, and this is the first official episode of the ProjectC podcast. And today, Oes is here, owner and co-founder of the company Go Exhibitions from Hanover. And today we are here to talk about reusage. So Oes, in a couple of sentences, who is Go Exhibitions, who is Oes, and how do you feel in general about sustainability?
Well, I'm Oes Schengel, co-founder and owner of Go Exhibitions. We are service partner of Hanover fairs in spatial shows and high-end pavilions. And our sustainability journey started around 5-6 years ago.
All right. Maybe a first question. So some people say that exhibit houses are losing too much design possibilities when building with the system. Do you agree to that?
No.
Or what do you think about it?
No, if you know how to use the system, it's the same thing. Maybe you have better chances because with the inspiration and cooperation, it's a mindset change.
So I also know that you're doing a great project in Hanover for the Hanover Messe in one of the halls. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yes, it's called Instant Fair. The idea is we dress up a hall, we build stands with different concepts, and it will remain at least for 2 years, and it will be reused. But basically, we will keep the frames and change the skin.
So in exhibitions, you see a lot of visuals that are printed. One of the challenges for stand builders is that agencies or the end customer always wants to change the visuals. The printed panels will only be used most of the time once or maybe a couple of times. How do you approach that as from a Go Exhibition
Well, this
standpoint?
is the biggest challenge in reusing the graphics, because this is the skin, this is what you can change and what people will actually change. We do print on sustainable textiles,
Okay, yes.
so which you can recycle. I think that will remain this way, the tendency. It's difficult for the exhibitors to keep the same team because they have to show their innovations, and the graphic is the best part. We won an award, ETB. We built the stand digital. So instead of graphics, we used LED skin.
Okay.
We had 8 LED walls. So we replaced the graphics with digital images.
Yeah. So you don't have to print anymore.
Yeah.
And like that, you come to a very big reuse of the same product. Well, we also did some investigations on what is the best product to print on, given the fact that the reusability is very limited. Most of the products that are out there are still very difficult to recycle. However, there is a change in that. There's also already recycled material out there. Are you scanning the market on the best product?
Yes, we do. We do all the time. This is also a big challenge, but also one of the major advantages we have. We scan the market all the time, and we look for innovative and sustainable products, and we demand for sustainable products. This is another point we focus on with our association forward.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to convince, we try to put pressure on the suppliers that they supply sustainable products in an affordable way.
Okay.
So they all have sustainable products, but as we all know, they are usually more expensive than the others.
Yep.
So we are trying to get those products for the same price because it's a normality.
You're touching a good point. People always fear once you speak out the word sustainability, then the price becomes much higher. What's your idea on the pricing of, let's say, sustainable products?
Well, this was the biggest resistance from client side. If they have to decide between the money and sustainability, they usually decide
Yeah.
for the money, not for the
Yeah, that's-
sustainability.
yeah.
So this was a big, big deal for us. And for almost over a year, we decided to offer sustainable stand for the same price.
Really?
And it is working. We had to be innovative. We had to find solutions to cover the costs. But we did, and it is working.
Yeah. So what you're saying in total, if you build an exhibit, building an exhibit with sustainable materials is not more expensive.
Not at all.
Okay.
If you asked me 10 years ago about sustainability and stand building, I would say nonsense. I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And after this journey, yes, now I believe.
I believe you did a couple of quite big investments during the pandemic. Weren't you afraid to lose money by taking that risk?
Of course I was, but in many languages, crisis means chances. So we saw the pandemic as a chance. We did the biggest investment ever in 7 digits, but the return of investment was far. Normally it takes 3 to 5 years, such investments.
Yeah, correct.
And partly we got it back in 2 months or a year.
Really?
So we already got most of the investment back. And more reusable it is, the longer you earn.
One other thing that people tell me is when you build reusable exhibits, then you need a lot of storage, and storage is expensive. And then you can as well bring goods to recycling. Again, that's not really true. Maybe depending on the region you are, but you are telling me the opposite, right?
Yes, you need a lot of space. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. So every company has to find its own solutions. They have different clients, they have different employees, they have different capabilities and skills. So our goal, well, our mission was to find smart ways to reduce costs or avoid costs. So we moved to new premises. So we found a very efficient industrial warehouse with storage racks. So we bought some machinery, some forklifts, spatial forklifts for this to improve efficiency. So we have less space, 1,000 square meter, but we have 3,000 square meter more effective space. We went in the height.
You can have sustainable, reusable, recyclable materials, but when you have to travel the whole world with the product, then I don't think it's still sustainable. So being close to the show floor is absolutely a big advantage, in my opinion.
Yes, it is.
So when for example, you have to build in Spain, will you then take your own goods to Spain, or will you look for a partner, or how does that work?
We don't build in Spain anymore. We don't
Okay.
build in abroad. Well, I think we try to avoid it. Even in Germany, we try to avoid the travel, not only because of carbon footprint, but also our life quality.
I completely agree with that. Times we tend, if we talk about sustainability, to only think about carbon reduction, but there's much more to it.
I think this is as much as important as the other parts, and it supports the other parts because the people you work, they are your partners for the sustainability. So if you can give them a better life quality, they are more interested in the environment part as well.
I hear a lot of sense and nonsense about using carpets on the show floor. on the show floor itself and also on the exhibit. My personal idea is if we leave the carpet away, we are losing on the experiential side of the show. We want the customer to still visit the show, and like that, it feels like we give in to sustainability. How do you see that as a stand builder? Do you have experience with that? And what are you doing on that field mainly?
Yeah. Well, flooring is one of the discrepancies we have that we are working in many aspects. Raised floor, carpet flooring, and wooden flooring. The carpet flooring was the easiest one. We invested in carpet tiles. During the pandemic, we bought 8,000 square meters of carpet tiles.
Yep.
Well, it's limits the creativity in a way, yes, but it's a compromise which the customers make easily.
Yeah. Yes, you also believe in the fact that carpet should not be left away on the show floor. As long
No.
as we have alternatives, speaking on probably recycled carpets, reusable carpets, and recyclable carpets. So then you create a full circle, I believe.
Yep. Well, recycling is important, of course, but it's not the major part of the sustainability at exhibition. Well, you have the reduce waste, reuse, and recycle. Three things you can do which has an impact. The most important one is avoid waste. Of course, when the end of life, you have to recycle instead of wasting it or burning it. I think reuse has a much better weight than recycling.
Almost came to an end here.
Yeah.
Is there some comment you would like to give on some points we did not touch?
The best part of reusing is the economical part. Well, scales of economic, the more you use, the cheaper it will be. And sustainable part of reusing, the more you use, the lower carbon footprint you will have.
Yeah. Well, these are, I believe, nice words to end this podcast. Thank you for listening and hear you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.